Hello all, welcome back to my YouTube channel all about VLSI. In this video, we are going to start with booth multiplier. So this is the part 1 of booth multiplier. We are going to see how the design is working, how the multiplication process is going on, and in next part we are going to see the implementation of this booth multiplier. So it is going to multiply two signed numbers which are represented in 2's complement form. So basically, if you want to represent your negative numbers, we are going to represent your negative numbers in 2's complement form. In the case of this particular booth multiplier, we are going to represent your negative number in the 2's complement form, and we are going to multiply them. Okay. So the key features of this is they can handle both positive and negative numbers, and it reduces the number of addition and subtraction operations, and it is ideal for digital hardware such as ALUs, DSPs, and CPUs. Like, why can't we just simply perform the normal multiplication operation? Any idea? In the case of normal multiplication, so it is going to take more hardware, more area, okay, and it is going to
Okay.
take more hardware and time. Okay, it is going to take more time consuming and more hardware. Okay, so
Okay.
on your, if it is taking more space and more hardware, then also power consumption will also be more. Okay, so that's why we are going to study different techniques like booth algorithm, and we have different algorithms like wireless multiplier. Like this, we have different multiplication techniques. So one of the technique is booth multiplication technique. So
Okay. Okay.
limitations of your normal multiplication is like it is inefficient for your signed numbers. So using your normal multiplication, you cannot simply multiply your negative numbers, and so much of logic is needed for multiplying your normal numbers like signed numbers using normal multiplication operation. So that is why we are
Okay.
going to take your Booth's algorithm, where it naturally work with 2's complement representation. So no extra logic is needed, and we are going to encode the sequence of ones. That is, we are going to see this, and less hardware complexity and better speed and area trade-off. So these are the some
Okay.
of the applications of your Booth algorithm, and why we are choosing Booth algorithm is due to this particular reasons. So we have two numbers. Let's say one is multiplicand and another is multiplier. So let's say this multiplicand is 1010 and multiplier is 0101. So this 1010 is an 2's complement representation of -6. So 6 is nothing but 0110. So if you apply 2's complement, then it is nothing but 1010. So if you want to perform signed multiplication using this booth algorithm, we should convert this particular number in 2's complement form. The negative number, we should convert it into 2's complement form. So if you multiply this two numbers, then the resultant will be the resultant. If you multiply, it will be around triple one, triple zero one zero. Okay, so this will be your resultant. So this we are going to see how to perform this right now. So in this, so we have two registers actually. So one register, it is known as accumulator, and one more register we are going to take is the multiplicand, and we are going to take one initial bit, that is q minus 1, the previous bit. Let me add one more slide. So basically we are going to have accumulator. It is of n bits, and we will have multiplicand, which is of also n number of bits, and we are going to have a previous bit q minus 1, which is of only 1 bit. So initially your accumulator value will be equal to made to zeros, so it will be all four zeros, and your multiplicand, it is nothing but it is 1010. So minus 1 will also we will take it as 0. Okay, now, so this is m3, m2, m1, and m0, and this is q minus 1. Okay, so we are going to consider this 2 bits. So according to this 2 bits, we are going to decide what type of operation we should do. But let's say suppose we will take m0 and q minus 1. So if m0 is equal maybe 00, and it may be equal to 01, 10, 1 1. So if it is equal to 0 0, then and we are going to basically shift the bits left by 1 bit position.
Okay.
And for 0 1 also, for 0 1 it is right shift operation. For 0 1 it is addition operation, and for 1 0 we are going to perform subtraction operation. Also just a shifting, no addition or no nothing. Okay, so these are the
Okay.
operations we are going to do by considering these two bits. Okay, so by considering these two bits, we are going to perform which type of operation we should do, whether it is shifting operation without any addition, or addition operation, subtraction operation, or simple shifting operation. Okay, so in these two cases, in the first case and the last case, only shifting is done, no addition, no subtraction is done. Okay. Whereas in the case of
Okay.
0 1, simple addition is done, and in the case of 1 0, subtraction is done. Okay, and after performing subtraction, also we should perform shifting. That is mandatory.
Okay.
Shifting is mandatory. So by considering this, let's see what we should do. So here we have 0 0. So that means we can refer this table, that is we should just shift the bits. So from the accumulated bits onwards, we are going to shift them. So we will get all zeros here, and this will be shifted over here. This will be shifted to left, sorry, right. 0 1 0. Okay, now again we should compare this two. Again we will compare this two bits. So 1 0 is nothing but 1 0 is for subtraction. We should subtract the contents of your accumulator with your multiplier, with your multiplier. So we
Okay.
should perform a minus multiplier. I will write it down, multiplier. So instead of doing subtraction directly, what we can do is we can perform a plus 2's complement of multiplier. What I can do is, first I will go here and I will perform 2's complement on this particular multiplier. So it will become 1 1 0 1. So 1 0 1 1 is your 2's complement of your multiplier. So I'm performing 2's complement of this particular, and so I'm performing subtraction. I should perform subtraction operation here. That is, I'm going to add the 2's complement with my accumulator. So that is nothing but 1 0 1 1 0 1 1. So the resultant will be 1 1 0 1. Okay, and this multiplicand units will be written as it is. That is 0 1 0 1, and this LSB is also written as it is. Okay, so after doing this, we should again shift the bits by right by one position. So it will become, and the shifting which we are performing here, it is an arithmetic shift, not normal shift. It is an arithmetic shift. I will write it down. So we are basically performing arithmetic shift. Two type of shiftings. So shifting is of two types. One is logical shift. So again, in logical shift and arithmetic shift, we have right shift operations and left shift operations. So let's say if we have 1 0 1 1, and if we want to perform right shift operation, logical right shift operation, then what we are going to do, we are going to insert 0 1 0 1. Am I right? This is your
Yes.
logical right shift operation. And here you're not, it may be a negative number or a positive number, reverse. So 0 for positive numbers and 1 for negative numbers. Okay, if you want to represent minus 5, then it is nothing but 1 1 0 1. Okay, so if you shift this, if you perform logical shift operation, then your number will become 0 1 1 0, right? So this is your number. But if you're performing arithmetic shift operation, then what is happening? Then your number is 1101. If you're performing arithmetic shift operation, then you're preserving your MSB bit. So you're not changing your MSB bit, you're preserving your MSB bit, and after that you're shifting the bits. Okay. So this is
Okay.
the difference between your arithmetic shift and logical shift operations. Performing logical shift operation, here we are performing arithmetic shift operations. So that's why if we are performing arithmetic shift operation, so addition has been, sorry, subtraction has been completed, then we should perform arithmetic shift operation. So how we are performing, so this MSB bit is preserved, followed by shifting will be performed.
Okay.
1 0 1 0 1. So this has been completed. So again, so first time checking has been completed, second time checking has been completed. So two times we have checked for the values of m naught and q minus 1, and this is the
Yes.
third time we are checking. Okay, so third time if we are checking, those values are 0 and 1. So for 0 and 1, it is nothing but addition operation we should do. So we will directly do the addition operation with the multiplier, that is 0 1 0 1. Okay, not this value, this is 2's complement form. This is 2's complement value. This is normal original value. Okay, so we need to perform addition operation. So we are taking the original value only, that is nothing but 0 1 0 1. So it is nothing but 0 1 0 1, and the remaining contents will be the same. Uh, okay, no need to write it down. So I will write it on next page. So 0 1 0 1, and the previous contents are double 1 0 1. So it will become 1 1 0 1 1 1 0.
One one.
And if we get carry, we will discard the carry. Okay,
Okay.
and the remaining contents are 1 0 1 0
Zero one
1 0 1 0
one.
1 up. Yeah.
Yes.
Now again we should perform right shift operation. So if we perform right shift operation, then 0 0 0 1 0
Yes.
1 0 1 and 0. Okay, so this is the
Okay.
final check we should do, the fourth check. So there are four 4-bit wide, right? So we are going to check for 4 times. Okay, so
Okay.
the last is fourth bit checking. So 1 0. So 1 0 means it is which operation? Subtraction operation. So again we are going to consider this 1 0 1 1. So
Okay.
1 0 1 1. So if we are going to add them, 1 1 0 1 1 1 0 1 1 1 0 1. Sorry, here it is 1, right? Here it is 1.
Mm.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
And if it is 1, here also it is 1 only. Perform the shifting also. So it is nothing but again if we perform the shifting, then it is 1 1 triple 1 0 0 0 1 0 1. Yeah. So this is your final answer. So it is nothing but triple 1 triple 0 1 0 1. So is it matching with our first answer? Yeah.
No.
Yeah, is it? It is matching. Triple 1 triple 0 1 0.
Triple one.
Okay. This one.
Okay.
We will not consider this. Only the accumulator content and the multiplicand content. That's it. So coming to the architecture which we are going to design, is we are going to uh, have a accumulator, and it is of n bits, and from this n bits we are going to have a multiplier unit. It is of also n bits. So multiplier, it is of also n number of bits we are going to have, and this q naught and q minus 1 we are going to compare, and we will have one control unit. So basics basis on the basis of this q naught and q minus 1, your control unit will tell whether to perform a shift operation, or whether to perform a add operation, subtraction operation, or just normal shifting operation. What to do, this control unit is going to tell. Okay, and we will have multiplicand unit. So this is original multiplicand, and this is two's complement form of multiplicand.
Okay.
This is of two's complement form. So this 2 will be given to a multiplexer. So according to the control unit output which is going to be given, whether to select the two's complement form or one's complement normal original form, the multiplexer will select any one of the input, and it is going to give it to addition or subtraction unit.
Okay.
Add or subtract. So from this, the sum is again given to the accumulator. So this is how it is going to work, and again from accumulator also it is going to be added with this particular multiplicator. So this we are going to design using Verilog. Not exactly we are going to have all the units. We might omit or we might mix two or three units in the single file. Like that we can design it. So that's about your booth multiplier working. So in the next part, we are going to see how the booth multiplier is working with the help of Verilog coding. Yes. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel all about VLSI. Thank you.